Evening. Be doing a lot better had I not just kicked over a drink. A full drink at that. So that super sucked. Yeah. Was just leaning in to say hi. The countdown had 2 minutes left, maybe 1 minute left. And as I went to walk away at the 40-second mark, I kicked over a drink. So, yeah, that's not nice. Welcome, Duct Tape. Thank you. We're gonna try a different approach to music tonight, and I have no idea how to increase volume on a YouTube that's already in progress, and have this not. I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's see how this works. So slow. Oh, geez. Well, there we go. How's that for volume? I don't have any commands for being able to change volume sort of dynamically. Oh, that's gonna smell for a little bit. Like maybe Febreze that or something. I don't even know. But every time I've clipped into this playlist, it's been awesome. This has been great. And I also don't know how often there are breaks or ads for that matter. There should be ads that help generate revenue for Black Lives Matter, but we'll have to see. That with game sounds. Let's see if we get this dust coming. Make sure all things sound okay. Let's get my mic. A little bit of height here. There we go. So how are you this evening, Duct Tape? How's everything on your side? You're all the way up. You're good. Okay, that's good. I was playing this just a little tiny bit. Got a pension for playing the old server again. Been watching a video on YouTube that has a bunch of ads on it that goes towards BLM. Yeah, I have about 7 of those because in my related there are additionals, and I pop them open in Firefox, and then I can have Firefox muted. And if I want any one of them in particular, I just pop the vid over to Chrome so I can listen to just one. But I can have a whole bunch of them running. I also have them set in YouTube. You can tell what quality to set them for. So I set them for their highest quality. That way, if at some point like Steam starts to download, it keeps the quality going for the vid. I figure that's just another way I can help. Doing great. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm taking a look at the property to see what we need here. I was thinking that we're gonna try to make it look less like a gas station. I'm gonna go with a wood roof, and we're gonna do maybe a slant kind of a thing. You know, that kind of goodness. I also moved this little hole was over here. I literally moved it, stuff like that. So we got a couple of things that we're working on. But as well throughout the, let's see, there's the link for the playlist, and that's not on a timer, so if at any point anybody's looking for it, I'll have to try to remember to hit said button. How is the volume on the music so far? It's been really good for having the same volume all the way through, which is really good. Actually been working on your not daily job stuff today and yesterday, hoping to get back on an actual schedule. I hear that. I had a dude spawn up there earlier, so I'm trying to work on getting this. I want to maybe put something up here. I don't know, something. But I guess we need to light it up because I think a zombie dude spawned up here. Whoops. Music is good volume? Sweet. So far, I think all of the tracks appear to be normalized. Like, I haven't anything that's been like wildly out. That's one of the other things. When I was looking at playlists the other day, remember, because everything that I do is kind of taken off of YouTube so far. I don't have Spotify or know how to use that too much. So every time I looked at a YouTube playlist, it's all these different like official videos. Some of those are going to be like miniature movies. Everything is going to be like very different in volume and different in levels and stuff. So this seemed to be a little bit more one level. kind of a goodness. I don't know how much. Let's see. Spruce down here. No, no, no. We need to bring the acacia. We didn't even bring any acacia down this way. All right. So I think we're going to be setting to cutting down some trees. Get out up there. Ooh, let's get to some sleep. I think I might turn my bed around. I don't like looking away. And have a quiet video, so you turn your volume up. Next one destroys your ears. It's and especially I worked for a company that did music production for like restaurants, bars, bowling alleys. It was like background music, and their biggest selling feature was normalized music. That all of their audio had like the same, you know, and that's key, I think. I also have a need for bamboo in this game. You can make scaffolding out of it, and I don't think I've seen any bamboo. It grows off of like sand. Yeah, that is key. Oh, and it was like they actually had a full proper production company, like full equipment. It was great, like an entire thing for producing music, just so that they could normalize tracks. It was lit. It was so well done. Like honestly, once you got used to that treatment, YouTube was tough to go back to. Like everything, even live songs would be on par. Oh, just so well done. Yeah. So and actually a couple of other people, like they quit or moved on to different places, and they're like, can I talk you guys into getting a really good player for the office? Anyway, so YouTube's great. I like the variety that we get, and honestly it brings me a better variety than what I was obviously gonna get from the other guys, you know, because they can only produce so much even in a day. I don't think I'm lucky enough to just spot bamboo outside my back door. Just walk right outside and be like, hey, check it out, it's bamboo. I just kind of woke up and realized that if I had bamboo, I could do this so much faster. I don't think this server predates bamboo or anything. I'm gonna leave the I'll leave the wood fencing up as like the frame. But we're basically gonna take the whole roof off this place. Blow the roof off. I don't think I can jump up there. Bye bye. Something else that was nice about their player is that you could create your own playlist just by genre. You could even filter by like energy levels and all kinds of cool stuff. Like it was just sort of a neat way to have that. I'm just thinking because like I even had a couple of hip hop playlists in there of my own. Well, it's cool. I've had a couple of people come in over the last year of, well, not quite year of streaming, be able to throw in some hip hop, and it's nice. But it's not a genre that I pick up or know too well myself. So I always appreciate if somebody can bring their own. But now we got this one. This is alright. So far, everything's been a banger, so I'm liking it. Oh, and also I wanted to bring up, DT, your contributions to the new exotic pets section of Discord is going to be pretty lit. I like what you've added so far. I found my YouTube channel has a bunch of vids, but they were all kind of all over the place. So I need to do a better job of organizing them, and then I'm gonna start posting some nicer. I've got like playlists and stuff. Like I told you I had a USB microscope. I've got a whole series I think we can do for that. Just get these things down. There we go. Yeah, my shrimp tank was kind of awesome. My shrimp tank was pretty cool. That thing was... I still technically have it, but I filled the bottom with dirt. I let it dry out, then I filled it with dirt, and then covered it up with other plants and stuff. So it didn't do too bad for quite a while. It was all right. I think probably if my son gets into it, then I can see me doing a better job of resurrecting those, but I'm probably going to tear them down and then come up with, I don't know, probably, I was thinking I would even like put, I miss having a fish tank, yeah. I was thinking even just like, there's a couple of plants I really like, and if they're planted in a terrarium, they get really overgrown, but if they're just in a pot, then they grow kind of nice. They don't overdo themselves. So there's an alright chance that I could just gut the tank and then put a nice pretty background in it. It wouldn't take very much effort. And then it would at least look nice for the time being, because right now it's a little overgrown. Well, that was a nice transition. Ooh. Yeah, that was nice. Got this secret treasure box down here. I gotta find a better way to have this. Just like in the floor, and it's got so much stuff in it. But probably my glowstone, rotten flesh can go up. I don't think I need my buckets anymore. The spare minecart? No, I guess maybe that's my current minecart. Look forward to the tank updates. Yeah. I used to actually run a program just for myself. But run a program here called Terrarium Lab, where I tested out like methods of creating, like the picture of the chameleon enclosure. That was kind of like the first start to Terrarium Lab, was getting stuff like that going. Newbie cat, welcome kitty, welcome. How is you? But yeah, that chameleon enclosure was sort of the first start to Terrarium Lab's goodness, and I wouldn't mind bigging that up again, but it takes a concerted effort. It takes a boatload of time to get that going. I have way too much cobblestone. Should I just... I mean, cobblestone's practically free in this world, right? I sort of feel like that I should just get rid of some into the garbage disposal. Otherwise, I will literally keep it forever. I have so much of it already, and I can easily get more. I don't want to throw away stone, because that actually took effort. But, like, come on, I do not need all of what I have. Final Fantasy, that's 14? I'm so terrible with Roman numerals. Final Fantasy 14? There are so many good Final Fantasies. It's awesome. I haven't played a Final Fantasy in years. I should pick that goodness up again. Alright, we gotta get some more trees. We need more lumber. We're gonna try to build a roof. Do the same. Use a lot of mods on my world, so I do have these awesome cabinets that can organize items, put a little picture of them on the front. Yeah. That's awesome. That's pretty lit. Keeping inventory organized in any video game is just, that's boss moves right there. I was always terrible at it in Terraria. I'm terrible at it in Minecraft. I just keep everything. Join us. Join us. You guys all playing? Like, is this like an online? Is this a group things? Join. Love organization. And so many video games lack it, like, right from the get-go. So, like, it's interesting you mention a mod, right? Because it's not always top-notch. Some games, their organization of inventory is sometimes what keeps me playing. Right? It's something that can actually keep you going for a bit. I like games where the inventory can't be sorted, but it's always alphabetized. So you get used to where things are in your bag depending upon, and you know, little bits like that, so that Like, my OCD can't get mad. It organizes itself. Oh, Binary Sage in the chat. It's a MMMO. Oh, that sounds alright. Is it new-ish? I would have a hell of a time running it if it's new-ish. Sage, do you play Final Fantasy XIV? I know you're a Final Fantasy onliner. I have not played one of them yet. Okay, so Sage is also playing Final Fantasy XIV. That's amazing. Honestly, when people do mention that they play Final Fantasy, Sage, you're one of the people that come to mind. We were working one night and he told me a boatload about one of the games. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Oh, and I need to eat. Siege. How are you this evening? How are you? You know, in all the... No, it is old? Okay, cool. You own all the FFs? Have you played the remake yet? The 7 remake? I've seen a couple of people play it. Naku played it for a bit. That was pretty lit. I played the heck out of the original. I was a Nintendo fan with the first few Final Fantasies, and then when Square jumped to Sony, I did as well. And I owned a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2, and then I haven't owned any since. I think I played Final Fantasy 7 and 8, and then most of 9, but I probably didn't beat 9. I don't remember if I beat it. Oh, so some of these tracks are just gorgeous. I might have to go through the playlist and see if I can nick a bunch of these from my own playlist. This is a nice one. I have so many games right now that I'm trying to play through. Whole boatload. One of them is actually Elder Scrolls Online. I wouldn't mind getting back to that. I played like 6 or 8 hours of that. I enjoyed it, but it was a bit mismatched for me. I think I need to try a different start. You have an annoying cough. Played 7 Remake. I haven't beat it. And way too many games. Yeah, I can't remember what your Steam number was. Naku showed off his one night, and it's like 500 or 600 or so. Like, Jeebas, how do you have that many games? Like, yeah, too many games. Too many games. I was thinking of the other day. In Steam, I have like 160, maybe 140. But then I've also got Epic, and they give out their free games. I've got Prime, they give out free games. I probably only got about under 20 with Prime. GOG, I think I have at least 1, if not 2 or 3 titles with GOG. Right? We've got an alright amount of log. This isn't too bad. Oh, and that one actually did grow. I wasn't sure if this guy was going to grow. I guess they really only need just the 8 squares around them. When I play with the group, I usually end up being the base mom and organize everyone's stuff and having drop boxes for loot. That's amazing. And then put it all in its proper place. Not only it's helpful to others, but it helps with your OCD as well. That is lit. Hate when you can't find items with the bases, because people just throw stuff in boxes. That's hilarious. Duct tape. When I was playing The Forest with Naku and JJ, there's a clip of it in my highlights where they're out talking about crazy stuff. They found fish for the first time. And so I'm just sitting at home cooking up food, and I'm like, well, guys, there's food ready when you want to come back. And like, they come back. Like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad even in games. So it was kind of hilarious. So it's fun that you play that same sort of thing. 389, 28 Origin, 17 Uplay, all Final Fantasy games. What? PS4 with 10 games. Have gotten Humble Bundle for nearly 13 months. Oh, so you've got like subscription to Humble Bundles. Like, you just get them every time. It's all like a proper subscription, but you just get them every... That's amazing. And 67 games that aren't on the main launchers. That's so great. Oh, and then Epic. 380-ish on Steam. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. In-game stay-at-home parents for the win. Oh, I haven't played too many multiplayer games, but I think that's usually what I do too. I typically play support. When I play any games that with a group, I typically play support. My next role that I like to play is tank, because that's sort of like the next level up of support. Yeah, no fever, so fingers crossed. Indeed, indeed, dude. All right, we're gonna see about putting a roof on this place. I don't know if I want to take. Yeah, I think I do. I want to take that one right down. Okay. Oh, hi. Hi. You can just slip right off that, can you? Beautiful. Beautiful. And Edge not only builds a city while staying at home, in his gaming chair sits at home while watching the world burn. Home city skylines. Yeah, sitting there with 440 plus games on Steam. And see, I can't over collect games. I've got a problem. I just don't like to have too many games in my library, or I don't know, I think I go almost blind with it. All right, I know we need acacia planks, but we might want the slabs as well. White Mage Scholar is fun. Oh, yes, indeed, indeed. I remember the classes from way back in the day of Final Fantasy. Oh, a game. Okay, if there's ever a Kickstarter for it and you guys need my help, Final Fantasy Tactics as a remake, I'm there. I'm all over that. I would play the bejesus out of it. I heard that they made an Android version, but they haven't ported it to Switch yet. I found that out because I looked for it on Switch. But like that's one of my dream remakes, I think. It's like their new sorting system, so you can hide all the games you're not playing. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, serious? My scaffolding is a bit much. Okay, let's make bunches of planks. Off of that, let's make bunches. Oh, no, it's got to be the acacias. Come on now. There we go. We'll probably need more planks. Let's make more planks. Yeah, there we go. That should be better. All right, let's try this again. Up we go. Probably try this out from there. Might like Fire Emblem. This year and last, I've avoided the Steam summer sale strictly to beat a few games before getting new ones. Oh, that's probably quite clever. Fire Emblem, I've heard a few people, like I've seen a few people play. Trex was playing that. I think he's a Fire Emblem fanner. But you there. Okay, this beat is dirty. Listen to that track. And then probably, what do we think? We just go. We got to come down on the floor level and see what at least this looks like. All right. Let's go see what this looks like and if we should continue this trend. Minus the, you know, the dirt thingy sticking out the side there, but like. So yeah, the top is kind of like an always gradient. The bottom would have like a more of a subtle gradient. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's waste some time. Last Final Fantasy Tactics games, I think, was 2007 on PSP. Yeah, and then the one on mobile is just literally an Android port off the PSP. It's pretty fun, rage-inducing. That's all. Hasn't Fire Emblem been out for like absolute stupid amounts of time? Like, hasn't it just? Isn't it old? Been around a long time, something like that. I've only recently heard of it, but I thought I'd heard something like that. There's like it's League of Legends old kind of thing, maybe, or something older than. I guess the other thing we should talk about is that I don't know a lot of games except the ones that I know. And that's a stupid thing to say, but literally, like, if I don't know the game, I've never heard of it. And, like, or I've played just tons of it. Like, that sort of thing. Like, you know, there's all these games that people are like, oh, yeah, this is just a game that's been around forever. Like, RuneScape is something that I know absolutely nothing about. I don't even think I would recognize it if somebody was playing it. And Minecraft was another one. Like, when I started playing Minecraft, I was brand new. I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. So, like, I was like, oh, Fire Emblem. This sounds like a brand new game. And people were like, no, it's been around a long time. I have no idea. I have no idea what games are good. What games are called. Okay, I think we got to nix, truthfully, all those trees. I'm not just sure. Let's go see. Okay. Guess we gotta go all the way to the edge there. We should probably... Whoop, we're gonna do... What? I have stone on me? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I kind of like this little bit of a flare, but maybe not. We'll just... oh, this one. Yeah, that's like... Anything from about Final Fantasy IX onward, I don't have a beat on in the slightest. I want to say something crazy like Centipede by Knife Party. I'll accept anything, just wanted to spend the 8K. Oh, that's hilarious. Beatbox? Beatbox anything? Alright, let's see here. Oh, wow. I was gonna hit my stream deck to try to mute the tunes. But it's a live stream, so I can't do that. Oh, then, no, I can't even see if you guys are talking right now. Oh my God, there we go. Centipede by Knife Party. Dude, I don't think I could do Centipede by Knife Party. Though, you know. Request that some night that we've got song requests back in. Yeah, alright, give me a sec, hold on. Alright, hold on a sec. Just had to do a little bit of tests. Was that worth 8K? I gotta have a drink nearby if you guys are gonna be like doing beatbox stuff. I could redeem 2 of those in a row the other day. Are you kidding me? Is that alright? Is that not too bad? You know, I'm gonna steal your points now. I'll mark as complete and we'll maybe throw a couple of that like that. Drink with a lid. Drink with a lid. Knowledge bomb right there, duct tape. Thank you very much, by the way, Sage, for the request. Thank you. Thank you. Back in the day, did I beatbox much at the office? I legit don't remember if I just do that walking around. I try to curb it a bit more now, I suppose, but like, dude, thank you. Thank you. That was awesome to have again. It's tough. I've until recently, I've never really beatboxed into a mic. So yeah, I have to try to. Once in a while, I would come into work and you'd be going. Oh, and like, because the place was huge, right? So it was very easy to... Hold on. We didn't even have closed captioning going. I didn't even send out the tweet. Oh, man. I managed to turn off my bot timers, though. Yeah, coming into work on like a Sunday or something. It's not too bad. You'd have the whole place to yourself. And be able to just... I mean, if you wanted to sing, sure. I guess I gotta be putting ones here. So You go away. We're gonna need to make a lot more of these. We should probably also sleep. That really hurt. Good night. There we go. Yeah, at least I wasn't singing. Ugh. Oh, I guess because I came down, but I didn't go back up here. Whoops. Alright, so we go you. There we go. Yeah, if I go back down this way, but I go up the other way, going down here is going to be a fall. We'll just have to try to remember that. Found someone playing Centipede and Beat. Centipede and Beat Saber? No. That's amazing. The Fratellis, they're a band that I never really considered to be too fast till I saw them in Guitar Hero. And it's like you practically break your hand trying to just even keep up. That was kind of crazy. I can't even picture Centipede on oh wow, Beat Saber. No, not in those ones. Think. Oh, I kind of want to extend these ones because I think that would look better, but it's this one that's straight up and down. So maybe there we go. We'll just expand this out a little bit. Right? Look at this. It won't be a gas station anymore. It's great. A little late on tweeting out this stream. And see, it's something that Murder and I have talked about a few times, that I should have my Stream Deck do that for me, right? I mean, I have a fantastic machine, but I tried doing that and the thing had a heart attack. My startup already takes about 15 or 17 seconds of lag, where OBS just sits there having like a technical stroke, if you will. If I add sending out an actual tweet in that at the same time, it broke a lot of things. I might have to do a couple of tests on it, but I can simulate a broadcast where it doesn't actually put out notifications and it doesn't turn on live, but a specific Twitch server receives the feed, and you can do it for bandwidth testing, but you can't do that with Twitter. So it would send out a tweet as a test. Go one more. It looks like it goes one more. Plus I need more acacia anyway. I almost fell. Like twice. I almost fell. Every move, now that's a check. Yes, they want to know my secret. It's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt. And my mom, she upset. That's way back when. That's way too many, but that's okay. I saw things I shouldn't have. Though I love the fame to death. Way back then it was a mess. We was living check to check. There's been a couple of times I've put the tweet out very late. I'm gonna try not to do that, but you know. Better late than never. Something like that. Yeah, one more. That's good stuff. Well, and sometimes the tweet is very simple, like tonight's. But sometimes I've got a bunch of stuff, and it's like, well, you had to put that out at the right time, or that's no good. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, that time I just missed it. Just straight up missed it. This is why we need to find bamboo, people. This is why we need to find bamboo. It's just a thing. Yeah, okay, let's make some more fences. Can we make lots of fences? Oh, not that color. That color. Come on. Really? That was it? I can... Okay. Oh, listen to that beat. That is beautiful. There we go. I guess elevation. That's exactly where you want to go. It's right there. We're fine. You want the fence attached to your tree. That was great. As long as you're still streaming, then it's technically not late. My dad was a bus driver for the city. And occasionally people complain that he's late. He's like, I'm not, I'm right on time. And then he'd just smile. That's just the best. Gotta deflect it somehow. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. Okay. We might replace this wall. I'm not 100%, but like, there we go. I gotta put the lighting back in, but there, that's not too bad. We might just hang them like cute little chandeliers or something. It's a beautiful little house I've got. I'm gonna extend these, I suppose. No? Okay. Can you crouch and jump? You can. You can crouch and jump. That's amazing. Hey, that's not too bad. More fence? Oh, but not of that variety. Okay. Okay, and then we go there. We'll get another set of these over here. Oh, no, crouch, jump. Minecraft is great. I like this game. I bet you I can just crouch and jump. F's. Beautiful. Okay. This is looking nice. This is looking nice. House crafting. We got ourselves a nice little side of the cliff sort of goodness going on. Look at that. Unbelievable. We might change that stone wall out. We might throw up a nice set of acacia planks or something, you know. Right? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Got some good plankage to it. Because I don't know if I like the sight lining here. Gotta stop doing that. There. Unsure if I like that sight line. Oh, gotta come around this way. I mean, for now we'll keep it. For now we'll keep it. It almost kind of looks like I found the stone part of this and I just added the wood parts of it later. Have it go straight through. Maybe do the middle in like a different... Do it like in spruce. Is there another wood around here? Other than birch? Other than birch. Oak, maybe. Do a little bit of oak. This is the one thing, like the nice orange of acacia. Everything else is like spruce is a bit darker than oak. Dark oak is the next sort of most extreme. It's like almost a greeny brown. But it's also really rare. Oh, and I put a door up there. I like that you can swim up this waterfall and get in there nice and easily. I'm just gonna dig out places that I can put new rooms. So we're gonna be able to put a port out the back and put like even a little bit of a set of stairs that go down, but this still needs a lot of work to it. That goes to the basement, sort of. A nature compass? Oh, like a natural compass? Like, yeah. I tried using Journey Map. Now, Journey Map might be really heavy, and there might be ways to unload some of what Journey Map brings, but I lost all my textures. Like, it didn't load walls. So, that's why when people mention games, I also mention how old the game is. I have a feeling that, because like I'm already using a nice mod that makes my water look pretty. My water looks nice and attractive. but it doesn't do much else, and it's meant to be very, very lightweight. But despite that, it still has a tendency to be a little bit over the top. So I'm not opposed to it. I wouldn't mind maybe trying it out. If you have any, the Minecraft section of Discord would be an alright place if you can think of it. I wouldn't mind testing it out. I've got a test server that I usually try to test things out in, but in that test server, I didn't traverse worlds. So I can run journey map and this cool water texture at the same time. And then I even tried just journey map on its own, but it was still just a bit too heavy. I didn't lose as many. It took a little bit longer for it to die, but I'm gonna get to put up some. You can even see the chasm from all the way up here. I kind of think this is a nice nifty other place to live. Okay, so this is the Optifine engine, and I'm using Sildurs, and there's light, fine, and I don't want to say heavy, but they've got like a pretty big one. Straub Shortcake uses I think the heavier one, and it actually makes, where's my sun? Yeah, I still have the square sun. It actually makes her sun into like a proper sun, and she gets rays, and her clouds are proper, and like all sorts of stuff. And then she even uses, I believe, a texture mod to make these guys into medieval looking things. But off of that, I just went with the basic Sildurs, and I thought that was enough for me. Oh, guys, let's go fight a creeper. I didn't think he would spawn out here. Nope. Nope. I lost to one of those earlier, too. Well, put it all back. You always got to keep extra dirt around, you know? Hey. There? There. This is a great track, too, by the way. Yeah, so the Optifine engine and the Sildurs is a really good mod just for making the game look extra pretty. But this one keeps the CPU usage low, and the heavier one is meant for something a little bit more of a beefier rig. Let me see, hold on. Sildurs. Yeah. And it's Optifine. Now I will point out that Optifine has their own shaders and their own textures, which I don't use. But they have not updated those for the 1.15 update, which means they're behind for the 1.16 update, which is due-ish. So I'm using... Does it even say somewhere? I thought one of these... Oh yeah, there we go. Sildurs... I'm pointing like you can see where I'm pointing. But Sildurs Enhanced Default is the one that I'm using. It does say in the description that it's the lighter one, I believe. But yeah, Optifine at the dead top there, yeah. And it does say pre-18, all that stuff. Like, it's actually... It's, what's it called? Pre-release. I couldn't think of the term. It's the pre-release. Once they get the shaders involved, then they'll do it as a proper release, which means I'm kind of... Some things don't load as well as I'd like them to. I've had a couple of things not go very nicely. I think that might be as well why Journey Map wasn't loading very well. But when I load Journey Map, I load Forge. Forge is up to date. Forge is where you have all of your, like, proper resource updates, or not updates, resource mods, where, like, creepers won't explode, or that sort of good stuff. Yeah. So, Forge is what I would prefer to use, except for that they don't have shaders that are this pretty. They don't have, like, this style of of like I love that dynamic water from this far away. It looks pretty, right? Like that it looks really neat. I like it. Also, this zoom is just my C button, and I've discovered that that's from Optifine. I could probably get that from somewhere else, but I haven't seen it. Yeah. So like it's subtle and stupid pretty. It's really neat. And even just like in these sorts of things, like if I go down, hold on. That water even there just has like a nice sheen to it. Pulsates a little bit. It's just so nice. So I played Minecraft for like an hour without it, and I went, how do I fudge the 1.15 update Optifine? And found a Reddit thread. And they said if you load their pre-release, which you have to click a specific button under downloads to even find it, you can load that and then one of the Sildurs and you're gold. And I'm like, well, that's perfect. So many other people, they use the proper shaders from Optifine, so they had to discover Sildurs on their own, I guess. I have where I don't drop inventory when I die and creepers don't destroy your stuff. Yeah, there you go. There you go. On our the server where I play medieval Minecraft, that's Adarisa's server. Creepers don't explode. They literally just make the explosion sound, but they fizzle. When you die, you get a box with all your stuff that floats on lava. Oh, and teleporting? Whoa. Tell me more about teleporting. That's kind of lit. So yeah, for the most part, because it's meant to be a pretty server, so we didn't want them blowing up your gear, right? So what else do we want to do here? We built our roof. That looks nice. I don't have a functional need to do much else. I'm not building a blacksmith area like I was doing in the medieval realm. Teleporting. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, we also had killing the end boss guarantees your loot, which is not the case. That's a mod. That's a mod. Ooh, a barn. I was gonna be doing some farming. I do have some farm property out at my other place. Oh, and he's got an enchanted bow. Oh, I didn't know that guy was there too. I'm kind of safe. As long as I don't go too far where this guy can get me. Oh, he didn't give me his enchanted bow. Oh, and I guess something blew up here. That's not supposed to be a hole. Crap. Yeah, I have livestock at the first house, and I've considered going and getting it. Oh, what I should do? I want to fill this up, and I've heard that kelp is what you need to make source blocks. So I have a boatload of kelp. We're gonna see if we can make source blocks. I want this to fill up and be like an actual pool. I think it would be funny. I'll put fish down there. It was also important to me to be able to run home with all stairs and not have to jump. Making OnlyFans for my beard. My beard that does not make it onto the stream. Only the top half of my beard. Swim with the fishes. Yeah, I like having fish ponds. OnlyFans just for my beard. Look at how big that gets. I managed to get it so that it kind of almost goes straight down too. I want to get something that I can like separate, have two little, and maybe put like a brass cogwheels or something. I don't know if that'd be heavy. That could be fun though. Viking beard indeed. Viking beard indeed. You said you know what I should do. I love that you just took that and went. That's amazing. OnlyFans for my beard. I will take it under advisement. We do have a suggestions panel. Does have a nice and awesome Viking beard. Do you remember one of the many Craigs that we worked with? And in his profile, Sage, he had a cosplay where he actually had like two things tied up in his beard, and he was doing like a, I don't remember what cosplay he was doing, but it was kind of awesome. Oh, hey. Yeah, yeah. No, it was nice. It was nice. I can't remember what it was. But it would be kind of funny. You get something that you slide around, whatever, and then you can screw on a cap so that it literally contains your beard inside it. You have like a Torbjorn style beard. I just want to make sure the door closed. My wife just went in to the bedroom. I don't want to be all like, yeah, boys. Tried to remember all the Adams names that we worked with. I think I got them all. Yeah, we actually worked with so many Adams. It was funny, and they worked for different departments and all sorts of, yeah, that was just great. Let's see. Well, I guess actually no, it wasn't Craig. It was Greg. Because there was 3G Greg. See, it was like G-R-E-G-G. Yeah, they hired a chef named Adam. That was the fourth Adam. That was too much Adam. Way too much Adam. Okay, what was I even up here for? We've had a lot of commotion since I came into my house. Back to what I was doing. I wanted to fill the pool up with kelp. And that is in this pool? Okay, good stuff. And then we gotta probably eat some food. Let's do it. All of my health, not my health, my energy goes to running in this game. Just constant running. Now they have one Adam and no Buckley. Do you keep tabs on them, sir? Dude, we should talk if you keep tabs. I should have slept because it's almost night. If you keep tabs, I wouldn't mind knowing. I have not been by the old stomping grounds in like well over a year. Wow, no Buckley. How do they do it with no Buckley? Anyway, Sage and I work for a family-owned business that's been there forever, but they've kind of come and gone with loyalties, so... Stayed friends with the guy that took over the night shift? Oh, what's his name? Oh, don't say it, because, like, we're on stream. But, like, I barely remember him. He seemed alright. That's crazy. Get in there. Okay, so I've heard that when you pop this stuff up, yeah, boy, it makes source blocks for us. Right? And so I might be able to put more in places and get it to spawn. There we go. Minecraft hacking, people. We're gonna try to fill this guy up. Yeah, I was there when Booth left. Well, maybe, because, like, he left for BC, right? Did he come back? And then he left again? Oh, man. This is fun. I'm building my own, like, water park here. Well, I guess that's a bit high, isn't it? There we go. I don't want this to get too high up there, or I gotta start capping it, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's going a bit over. That's going a bit over. That's going a bit over. I might have wanted to bring a bucket with me, yo. I might have wanted to. Yeah, look at that. You have to get, like, inside it, and then you can, like, drop another, and another, and another, and another, and another. There we go. Woo! Chile! Well, Skinner, I've arrived despite your awful directions. Skinner! Welcome, Super Nintendo Chalmers. Oh, I can't put one right there. Maybe I can do that and it flows out. Oh, yes. Yes, child. That is fine. We is good. Oh, do it. Do it. Do it. There we go. I got the math. I got the math. We're fine. I had the math minutes ago. No, that's not gonna go. I'm now just swimming around. He works for Lulu? What is Lulu? Tell me that's like competition that's just hilarious. Oh, I can't just... Oh, there we go, there we go. Can we place on top of you? Maybe? Maybe? Yeah, I don't think it maybe continues over. Some sort of like statute of limitations sort of thing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Lululemon, the clothing company. There we go. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. He's a rep. Lemon. No, I can't just put another one right there. You'd think, you'd think, you'd think. Like it kind of like goes, but it doesn't. Yeah, I guess it won't flow past this a certain amount of the source. And we probably don't want to keep all this down here yet. Yeah. I think everywhere down here you'd survive if you fell, and that's what we're going for. Nice IT gig. And that is still out there. He is still out in BC. I remember there was a going theory that he never left London and he just wanted to tell everybody that he moved to BC because it's fanciful. Why is smoke coming out of your hovering skin? Not the episode where he's making steamed hams. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, that's not good. Did they fall in? Did they fall in? Oh, they're right there. Okay, I just wanted to see where they were. Is he gonna chase me? Oh, he's gonna chase me. Alright, I have high ground. Done and done. Get all kinds of wrecked. Yo, Tobey. Sadly, Chili, we are doing no such song requests this evening. I should actually pop up the chat. Boom! However, boy howdy, these songs are lit. It's probably the whitest way I could have said that ever, but still. This has been a boss playlist all night. I think I don't mind that being offset from there anyway, because I like it to match up with this side. Aesthetics and crap, you know? Yeah. You'll save your gold, and thank you for your gold. I do appreciate your requests, man. Chili is responsible for our start screen song. So, I do love having the song requests, but I'm looking to highlight, and this is a pretty good playlist so far. This has been something I've had up in my background for the last couple of days. As to say, I've been given the like Twitch lurkers support to the BLM for when I'm sleeping. I keep all these videos up and stuff to stream for both views and donations and all that sort of stuff. But I keep them in Firefox where I can keep the muted at the system level. And then if I'm looking to play any of them, I just pop them over to Chrome. I've usually got a whole bunch of these guys going. I don't know if I want to do anything with the stuff that's out here. Like, this house, I haven't really explored the area of it. I kind of just built this house and then moved on and built a fourth house. I built a whole bunch of houses in rows. But, like, there's all kinds of stuff out here. And that mountain might not have rendered all the way, but it might have. Because there's, like, wax stuff like that up in the air. Anyway. Oh, and Duct Tape, you'd mentioned teleporting. This is why I'd be interested, because I want to be able to just get up to stuff like that. But the only, like, vanilla teleporting is portals to the nether. Which essentially is what this world is. It's just a series of houses through the nether. And when I popped out here, I was like, oh, there's going to be awesome in there. And it legit just comes out right there. Like, you can even see that it's lit up inside. But then I found the chasm just on the other side of it. And I fell into it. But there was a lot more water down there anyway. So I've shaped it a bit more, so it looks nicer, but still. Oh, and there's like other ways into it too. But so far, this has been an alright house to work on. It's been an okay place. We'll maybe do the farming we've talked about. Teleporting, nature compass, and journey map. So cheating, but awesome. Quality of life cheating. I like to suggest that, like, so I played World of Warcraft for quite a while, like a decade. And I watched as the game went from being very, very raw to that they eventually incorporated mods into the base game. And then thus the mods could be discontinued and the creators could work on better mods. And so it was really cool. Like there was one called Multi-Mail, maybe? Multi-Mail? It was the ability in World of Warcraft for probably the first year and a half, you could only mail one item at a time. So if you wanted to mail a whole bunch of loot to one of your banker tunes, it would honestly take like a half hour of your day. It was nuts. So a mod was made and you could attach 12 pieces and then it would you know, add the money up and ship the whole thing out all at once. But it would literally, you'd hear it go cha-ching, 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 cha-ching while it sent the mails out, because it was literally sending 12 individual mails. But then, you know, Blizzard incorporated that and many others over the years into the base game, making it like rendering the mod moot, but allowing the creator to stop maintaining that and move on to something else. So I'm a huge fan of mods, but I've also had them wreck my game when things didn't really. Now, something like Minecraft or World of Warcraft, I think not as bad, but like I think Skyrim is one where like you can accidentally empty all of your containers, and then when you load your game back up, there's no bringing that stuff back. It's just gone. So some games have been a little bit risque to mod. Yeah, we've got our forest area there, so I was thinking it was earlier I was gonna put the farm area out this way. I was thinking like leveling this right down to this level down here, like starting actually out here, and what is that, five levels, just flatten it right down. The stairs would still be pretty good, and then we'd have a little bit of farmland over there. This isn't wide enough is all. Some cliffside. All right, let's get some sleep. We got a mountain to raise. R-A-Z-E. Yeah, there's a couple of tracks on this live set that we're listening to from that second link, the Artist.io. I might go through and try to add to our regular playlist some good ones. It's just like 150 tracks-ish. It's not too bad. Used to have a mod on WoW way back in the day that show you exactly where you had to go for quests. And take all your quests and it would make the best possible route to get them all. That's amazing. I think I had a quest mod. It wasn't of that style. It was like a I'm trying to remember how it would help out. It would basically put on the tooltip for the items, whether it was a quest item. They didn't have that initially. A buddy of mine had that. BioShock has the same style of thing where the quest arrow at the top of the screen is very dynamic. Like if you have to go west into a cave that's north of you, the arrow points north until you're like side by side to the cave, and then you see the arrows start to turn. So like some of those quest mods were really good. They didn't be like, you have to go northwest, but you're like, well, mother frig, northwest is a mountain. And they're like, I know, but find the cave entrance, and then you have to go northwest. So some of those ones were really, really good. And some of those ones were like, they were intentionally vague because some people were like, I want to know the area, but then I want to do the quest. And so a buddy of mine, he actually managed to pick up one, I think, that was like, it was really good. I was watching him play one day, and I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like, oh yeah, no, this is just a really good quest mod. And at first I would, like, the purist in me was like, but dude, you have to get there. You have to, like, you know, you got to get your own feet wet. But now I get it. If you don't have 16 hours a day to dedicate to a game, sometimes you're like, show me where the quest is. I'll do the goddamn quest. Right? So that's me now. Like, I don't have all day to dedicate to games, and I really appreciate the help. I'm notorious for not reading stuff or watching cutscenes. Yeah. I'm bad at the vignettes. I'm good with cutscenes. I'm bad for when they're like, and then this optional tape will tell you actually what you're supposed to do. And I'm no. They said pick up a gun and go. So I'm picking up a gun and I'm going. But like the vignette will give like this reason why you really shouldn't, but you have to kill the guy. And I don't find that out until way later. Like, oh, that was a cool thing. F's in the chat. So yeah, I'm with you. Subnautica and BioShock both have tons of little vignette moments, and especially streaming them, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to invest all this time. Oh, listen to that beat on that. I love that growliness in the background. I don't think I have a spare shovel on me. I do not. Should probably craft replacement tools. I also haven't picked up iron in ages. 28, but that's not gonna last. I mean, you don't use a ton, but you use enough. Some games I'm lucky if I even look at the controls before I start playing. Kind of figure it out and then get stuck and then I look. Some games are really good for that. Some games are the devs were going for an intuitive strategy, but some games are so not. Animal Crossing, I'm having a little bit of a tough time right now where most of the time X is some form of open your thing, and on your tool wheel it's pitch this thing off of your favorite. So once in a while, I hit up for my tool wheel, and I'm like, oh no, wait, I want it into my bag. So I hit X, and it ditches my shovel. I'm like, dude, don't repurpose the use of a button. That just infuriates. Should probably make an additional. So like some games, the controls sort of have a pattern that goes all the way through. B is always cancel, A is always confirm, X is always detail. You know, but then when you get into a certain extra menu where they're like, you've unlocked terraforming, and the buttons are backwards? No. You played the OG Animal Crossing? That's lit. I don't know where my wife is on the history timeline of Animal Crossing, but she has played previous to New Horizons. That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen some of the screenshots from some of the like way back in the day, and it's like it's almost giving Pokemon vibes. I didn't play much Pokemon back in the day either, but I'm looking at it like I can see people falling in love with this stuff on the GameCube and on the DS. There you go. New Leaf was on DS, 3DS, one of those. There we go. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. 3DS, yeah. So I'm just loving it. I'm a huge fan of games that have intended cosmetics, like where there's even a separate system for like wardrobe or what have you. Like, you know, Skyrim, there's cosmetics to like whatever armor you're wearing and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, you get a certain look and you know, you can design your house, but to a point. But like in Animal Crossing, you can legit have a new outfit every hour. It's insane, and there's constructs for it. Anything that opens like a door, you can change at. So like my wife changes at her fridge occasionally. So like they've put in a lot of cosmetics, and I champion that in games. I think that video games are an excellent time waste, but they need to bring at least one, if not a dozen other things to the table. And involving art and music is important to me. I think that's because like I could sit in front of Mario and listen to the same MIDI soundtrack all day. But after a while, you realize that if you're listening to a great artist at the same time, then that's really cool. That's pretty awesome. That can bring something else. And then a company like Blizzard, huge Blizzard fanboy, but they've got a massive art department. And I think it's really important. I think that's really cool. So a game like Animal Crossing, like I ran around in a dress just because it looked pretty. It's friggin' amazing. My only recommendation for getting a Switch at this point, join so many of the contests. Try to get one for free. That could be lit. I have not gotten one for free, but I tried to join contests. Now we have a reg Switch that we've had for a while. We bought that when, not when they first came out, but we wanted to make sure that the hype was worth it. Oh, you got your son a gaming PC instead of a Switch? You are sweet. Look at you, B. Tell me he's appreciative. There you go. No regrets. There you go. There you go. Thank you. That's awesome. That's good to know. So yeah, my wife bought a Switch because she wanted something that she liked the idea that could be mobile at the same time. Because with a son that you don't necessarily want to expose to too much gaming too early. You know he loves it. That's beautiful. So we have we had a Wii U and we wanted to use it, but we didn't use it as much. A little bit, but not enough. So we were hesitant to buy a Switch. And then she was enjoying it. She was having a lot of fun. And then we mocked that Animal Crossing will likely be a game she'll play for a week. And they go, yeah, that was fun, but it's not that big a deal. And when she couldn't stop putting it down and she's showing me all the cosmetics. So, we budgeted accordingly. We made sure that we could pick something up like a Switch and a game. But we were debating. We were like, oh, but if we had a proper Switch, I'd be able to... Looks over the closet knowing there's a Wii and a Wii U in there. And we've got that. We've got a PlayStation 2. We got a PlayStation. We don't have Xbox, but like, yeah. Hey, collecting consoles is, that can be a hobby. Yeah, like making sure that we could adequately pick this up and have a good time with it, knowing that I would play it too. And I'm just loving the crap out of it. I'm having a lot of fun. You have an Atari that still works. That's phenomenal. I was rough on a lot of my stuff, so I have none of that goodness. My brother had one that I swear, it didn't have a game, it just had toggles. Like, there was no cartridges for it. Just toggles. 4 different sports, if you will. Pong, hockey, tennis. Which were basically the same thing. Yeah, that's amazing, an Atari. 2600 or... Oh, shoot. I'm trying to remember the other ones. The 26 was the super popular, so they came up with more titles for that one. That's definitely a good one. A bunch of games for it, yeah. A buddy of mine had a ColecoVision growing up, so I got to experience a lot of that. The wood grain one, yes indeed. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's lit. That is so cool. That's really cool. We have the SNES Classic and the NES Classic, but again, with having a little boy around, we didn't want to have too many cables. We don't have the time to play it, so they're kind of just in mint condition. But I wouldn't mind just getting an emulator, streaming some of that nonsense. All right, back to level. Be taking out some of this stone, I imagine, nice and soon. We might as well start on that. You haven't emulated? Yeah, I want, and I went looking for that, but like we're talking 2009, I went for emulator. And they were rough back then. I know they're a lot better now. There's a much better emulator community. And I think that would be a little bit better than... The one thing that's nice is if you have a capture card, it has an HDMI in, so you just need something with an HDMI out. So, instead of going to my TV, we could stream that goodness. But at the same time, it's fairly limited, so we've kind of got it for the nostalgia look. And one day when we can have pretty stuff again, 20 years from now. And we'll be able to have... But like so far, my boy is nice around my PC. I haven't had to restrict too many things about it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. Like this mic arm goes all the way and clamps to the edge of the desk where he can touch it. But we kind of had a early talk and hey, don't touch. And, you know, things been alright. You have a Raspberry Pi with a bunch of retro games. Okay, that is awesome. We have like one of the original start Arduinos and did nothing with it. Not enough things with it. I can't remember. We made it do like 1 or 2 things. And I was going to try to use it for Terrarium Lab stuff. Yes. Oh. Post the heck out of that. Oh, Raspberry Pi with a bunch of retro games. That is so cool. Ah, love it. I wouldn't mind. I got into terrariums instead, but I wouldn't mind if my boy was interested in something semi-technical on that regard. Like if he's interested in music, if he's interested in, you know, I'm sure that we can apply some good old-fashioned science behind it, and I think it'll be awesome. I'd love to have any of that going on in my life. Keep it in a gun case. Yes. There you go. Keep it nice and protected. Like some of the tracks we're listening to tonight. This is pretty good. This is a great playlist. I think I heard this one the other day when I popped it up. Yeah, there was a song that was like all eloquent and beautiful, but with swearing in it. I'm like, this is awesome. This is hilarious. F-bombs, N-bombs all over the place. It was just terrific. Listen to this. This is so good. I wish I didn't have a stream delay, or I'd be beatboxing right on top of all this. Yeah, I've been just passively listening to this for a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if I want to rip this straight down. The aesthetics of this stair. Yeah, I think we'll just burn this right down to the same level. The stairs will stand for themselves for now. I might put up like fencing, maybe even round out the staircase so it looks a bit more intentional, if you will. We're going from naturally built into the hill to destroying the hill. I feel like I want to keep the dirt because we're going to be putting in farmland, but man, you get a lot of cobblestone when you do this. Just get. Oh, not enough because I've got stuff like all these ominous banner and other adventure items on. Let me go home. We'll maybe post the banner because, you know, get wrecked. Here. Oh, hold on. Oh. Oh, I keep trying to put it on half blocks. Whoops. Hold on. Come here. There. Stay away. I'll take your other banner. Yeah, we don't need to keep all the kelp on me, this sort of goodness. Oh, beautiful. An exact number. That is nice. Oh, and hold on. And I know I keep my bone collection on up in here. Almost everything else I kind of keep on me. Jeebs. Like, look at all that cobblestone. We do not need all this cobblestone. I mentioned that last time too. Come on. Can't we just pitch it? Hold on. Yeah. We're gonna garbage disposal a bunch of this stuff, because seriously. Get wrecked. I will literally just keep it forever, and I don't want to do that. Might as well make more tools while we're at home. Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah. Shortly we should be putting up some fencing for aminals, and I think we've got a couple even around here. Oh, leads. Okay, I've got one. I've got one. I don't remember if I can make leads. Throw away all of my seeds too. Nobody needs that. Just nobody needs that. I want to actually carry a lava pit. Okay. Oh, the cobblestone. Take the andesite over this. But also, my OCD doesn't want to just leave all this hanging out. I think I could log out and back in and it's gone. Maybe? Can't remember the rules on how long chunk lands are, lasts for. Oh, duct tape. Scrolling through and seeing old pics. I feel ya. I feel ya. That is less fun. It's not cool when you, like, you didn't intend to keep that. That's less good. I was going through old pics last night and I just saw old pics of mine in Clarington's apartment. Like, that was an ugly, ugly pic. A terrible apartment. Cute rats though. On and off together for 12 years. Boy, howdy, yes. No good. Split a year ago. So then, yeah, pics are going to stick around. Unfortunate. So sorry. But a proper gone, this doesn't sound like somebody that you're looking to keep. Don't have to get into it. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Feel free, though. DMs are open if you're ever looking to chit-chat about anything. No. Yeah, that's something that we can chat on Discord, though. That's what she's for. And I should make mention to that. I am doing a lot better at trying to keep my my awareness on Discord when I do see comments. Trying to keep a proper presence there. I think it's a great platform, and I want to make better use of it. AGT. Don't know if I know AGT. This was not a fun time. Doesn't sound... Not from the tone I'm catching. Jeebs. Oh, no. I only ever in clips, Sage. I only ever catch them in YouTube clips. Okay, so most of this down. No, I've only ever seen, like... This is a great time on America's Got Talent. And actually, in those cases, somebody that has made it a certain distance, you get, like, the compilation of their accolades. But sometimes you get the one-offs, the people that only made it their one way through. A true Vegas act. Hold on. An act by a dude called Bonavega. Total freak show, but pretty awesome. Crazy. Oh, I didn't break my ankle this time. That's rare. Typically, I get used for I brace for the sound when you drop off a cliff in this game. Bonavega. But hey, at least I woke up and left. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Grats, duct tape. Grats. That's awesome. That's awesome. I have family that had semi-similar. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but semi-similar issues, and so you know, had a woke up moment and be all like, "Yep, it is time." So, grats. That is awesome. That is always awesome. And I think that's actually like Discord has been, you know, championed as just like chat for gamers. That's even their moniker, right? Their flair. But I think it has such a potential for more. It's replaced a lot of IM because the multimedia aspect of it is pretty cool. And then I keep bringing up the old workplace for me and Sage, but they use Slack. And Slack is just a fork of it's. I don't know which came first, but you know. Glad your fam left as well. Indeed. And King. Sorry if not on a lot because I have a lot of stuff and it's me. Welcome back. Yeah. Thanks for showing. Thanks for saying hi. It has been a little bit. But I fully understand if things are cray in this world right now. Oh. Everything is up in the all kinds of air. Welcome back. For anybody who's listening to the tunes tonight, this is what we've got. Terrific playlist. I am absolutely stoked by this. This has just been awesome. So this is what we got on deck tonight. Hype! Yes, indeed. Thank you for the purchase of. Hi. Welcome again. We're doing a little bit of decking out of my old Realms home. This is the third house I built, but we turned it into like a... Frick, I don't even know. Like a loft thingy? Oh, I should maybe extend this down. Gives it a bit of frame. Oh. It's all about aesthetics. Let's get over there. Yeah. But get rid of that guy. Oh yeah. Hey, there we go. You got the raid thing. I got the raid thing. Is there a raid thing? I have a raid emote incoming. Someday soon. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Hello, that's a bit of a weak connection. We'll see. Pure Z. And I think these stairs are gonna have to be formatted a little bit differently as we get in. We'll see. Press Z. Huh? I don't think so. My Z. Posted pics of the case and it's in it. Oh, I love it. Okay, if we come straight across here, I can probably nix this set and it'll look a little bit more of a proper dissension. Yeah, that's looking not too bad. Seriously, this is like going like some nice chill hip hop, borderline R&B, good stuff. It's from Illiger Outpost. Hmm? Okay. Oh, this guy here? The raid guy? Like my what are those guys? I call them bandits. They've been plaguing me for a while, actually. And so that was their leader, right? Hold on, is he still here? Yeah, he was stuck on one of these things. It's, hold on. Oh, jeez. Back up, back up. Yeah, there they are. I might be able to take them on. But yeah, the leader guy chased me down and he wouldn't leave me alone. Shibas. So yeah, I posted the, hey, get off my lawn. Yeah. Yeah, those guys are not nice. They're not nice. They're just not nice. Oh, and Wedge is being so nice with our commands tonight. It's great. Thank you so much, Wedge. Thank you so much. I guess while we're throwing off commands, this was a brilliant video, by the way, that I just posted the link for. It's literally like, if you're white and not sure what to do right now regarding Black Lives Matter, that's a brilliant video to watch. It's perfectly curated. Absolutely brilliant. If you find a village, there's a raid. Yeah. I've heard of that, and I don't know where they are near here, but there is one of their like citadel things. They're really tall, right? They're really big things that you can flee or fight. And it's because I've got the thingy up in the I've got the debuff on me, right? That clears in a day. Yeah, those doorknobs have been kind of hanging around. Yeah, they've been kind of hanging around, causing all sorts of trouble. Thank you. And I really do need a dirt box, don't I? Yeah, okay, here we go. I was keeping dirt. I forgot that I was keeping dirt. But I don't think I want to keep this much cobblestone. We get so much cobblestone. Like, we're just going to get so much more, and I don't... I gotta get away from building everything out of stone. If Sonic was here, he'd be cheering. Okay. So that's looking kind of flat. We'll be able to maybe buzz this down one more level and we can start some farmland. Where's our... Okay, sun's not too bad. We got a little bit more time. I think those, like, marauder dudes are just gonna stay down in the pit. That's me just being like, we're safe, right? We're safe, right? So yeah, we're gonna try putting a little bit of nice farmland down here. We'll keep some of the hills so that it looks a little bit organic. And then, you know, we got some sheps. Somewhere around here, I think, is a pig. Maybe 2 pigs. If we can get 2 pigs. The sweet sounds of me digging up a boatload of dirt. Do I need to turn down game sounds by any chance? Never really sure. I know my voice is in a pretty good volume. But it's not too loud in my own monitoring, and the game sounds are really loud. It's a lot less when I'm doing stone, but dirt, especially when there's vegetation on the top, it's a little over the top. Alright. Well, that's an alright amount of the dirt portion of it. This is right to that level. I should probably fill this in. Try to fill a little bit of this goodness. Keep it one kind of plateau. Get rid of this stack if we can. There. And then... got distracted for a moment. Guy was trolling cops, playing with Imperial March as they walked. Oh, wow. Do you have a protest going by you right now? Like, do you have cops and protesting and stuff going by you? Is anybody else experiencing this, like, live in their world? My city's a little bit calm with this stuff right now, with, I mean, both angles, both pandemic and revolution. I feel like that there's probably corruption at the police level in my city, but I happen to know that there's persons of color on the police force. There's a group that used to come into my Starbucks. We politely called them Salt and Peppa, but they were really, really nice. It was a black dude and a white dude, and they were super cool to hang out with because they would actually talk to us as customer service reps, knowing that we knew the customers very, very well. So they weren't just like, you're just minimum wage people, we don't care. They would actually get our opinions of what's up. And then one day, they actually performed a small sting in my store. And they did it completely without even having to let us know. So it was really cool. It was really cool. They had like everything all set up. They just basically needed the guy to show up into Starbucks and do his thing. And oh wow, it was neat. So it was really cool. It was nice to have like police that were definitely trustworthy. But boy howdy, it's tough to think of that right now. All the what I'm seeing. Imperial March though, seriously. What do we got? It's 11:38. I think before I do too much more on this, I'm gonna go get me a snack. You guys are gonna get to hear the wonderful sounds of kettle chips going off at the same time as my maybe too loud game sounds. So, I think my screens work when I play Minecraft. Oh, well that's lit. There we go. Guys, I'll be right back.
You, man, but just wanted to reach out and check up on you, man. Make sure everything was smooth. Really ain't been yourself lately. Get back at me soon, bro. One love. End of message. Took like 30 years, but I found myself ironic with these issues all around my health. I know it ain't nothing new. No, it's all been felt. I know I'ma get it right. No, I found my help. It's you. No execs want that dope dealer, that ghost stick up a cold killer. Hit way up prone up, pull that 4-finger. Body leave a soul, then you know that cold lingers. Have a wake with some cold singers, eat some cold winners. Tell me where your people finding their identity. Kid, I'm telling you, it's not who they pretend to be. Future said he ain't sipping lean, but the industry won't let him intervene. With them songs about him getting clean. You ain't a person, you a brand. Your persona's whatever, put money in their hands, they won't let it go. Feed them poison with no antidote, avoiding antidotes. Is telling kids without no hand or hold, that's holding on to your words. The man up in that mirror's way too unfamiliar. I don't know him. No, I don't know him. When we say I am, that's who I am. We say I am, that's who I am. That's who I'll be. That's who I'll be. That's who I'll be. When we say I am, that's who I am. We say I am, that's who I am. That's who I'll be. That's who I'll be. That's who I'll be. Took like 30 years, feeling lost at sea. To finally realize you had a plan for me. I know I don't know directions when I treat you in a van. While I'm in this world of chaos, I'm with you, it's so serene. Had to get involved when I found out who I was. When I thought I was forgotten, picked me up and said I'm loved. What it's like got overwhelmed and dropped them blessings from above. My supply is never running dry, I know that you the blood. Execs want that. Who cares, man? I spend too much time competing in world affairs. I'm called to be counterculture, fill my circle with no squares. Sick of the second surfacing while my people getting instead. Don't know who they supposed to be. They got the goal, but don't know the one on that rosary. They chasing goals, but they fighting the wrong opponents. Be the broken souls, but he's the only atonement. G. The man up in that mirror's way too unfamiliar. I don't know him. No, I don't know him. When we say I am, that's who I am.
Yeah, we're basically a little big town. We're a weird city that we have underground lakes called aquifers. So we're a wide city, but we can't be a tall city. We can't have giant 80-story skyscrapers. 30 stories is about the biggest we can have. So because of that, that puts a filter or a limit. The money can't go up, so the money is invested in weird stuff. So cable broadband internet was first tested in my hometown. The Tim Hortons iced cappuccino first tested in my hometown. So they do weird things knowing that we can only be a certain size of a city. It's really neat. We're kind of a test facility for stuff, if you will. You live next to a wildlife preserve? Whoa, like you can step outside your door and see it at the end of the street, like on the outskirts of town. Whoa, that is so sweet. I dated a girl that when long after we broke up, she was telling me that when she went out to BC, she got to live in a tiny version of a rainforest. It's a proper rainforest, but it's not very big. Along the side of a mountain with trees that were thousands of years old. And like out the front door was the kids' camp that she counseled for, and out the back was her yard. Are you kidding me? Like, it's just nuts. She actually had like, yeah, the weather where she was did not rival, or was not the same, sorry, as the weather 20 minutes away, because you had to leave the forest in order to get that, and you legit got different weather. Like, it'd be blistering heat, and it'd be 10 degrees centigrade where she is. Like, just awesome stuff like that. Yeah, having our own climate. Living next to a wildlife preserve, like, I don't know what I would do with that. I'd be crazy. Coyotes come through most of the nights and drive all your dogs in your street crazy? Like, that's... wow. My sister lives out west, and she shares pictures of, like, bears and deer and all kinds of crazy stuff. I live in the dead middle of a city. And an okay size one. Like, I'm right on the core. Okay, I think I need to dig the stone out from one more layer and fill this with dirt. Tonight's snacks brought to you by Kettle Brand sea salt and vinegar chips. Oh yeah. Something about the extra crispy, you know? There's texture. I want to live where my nearest neighbor is over a mile away. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I'm torn between, I really like having access to so many things. I lived in Toronto. I mean, Toronto's big. What am I doing? I'm taking all the dirt out of here. I don't want to take the dirt out. Toronto is big. Real big. But having access to anything, like, I don't remember what it was. It was a comment, something that somebody made, or where it was that I saw it. But the comment was that Toronto is the only place where you can get Thai food and a dildo at 4 a.m. I'm like, well, the only place in Canada. I'm sure there's plenty of places in the States where that's a thing. But, like, there are parts of Toronto where it doesn't matter. It's yeah, it's not closed. You can get anything anywhere. And so that level of access was a little much. I don't need that. And you literally pay for it. Like when you go to college but you drive and you realize that part of your tuition is also paying for the bus pass, that you've never been on a bus but you still pay for it so that everybody can have a bus pass, you realize that's what it's like living in a big city. You pay even if you never do the things. So, like, certainly there's 24-hour everything. But, like, if you never go out 24 hours, you might as well live in a town that closes at 9 p.m. It's just a thing. So what we kind of figured out, me and my buddy, and he still lives in Toronto, but he lives, like, he'd have to take a cab to find his dildo and Thai food. But we figured out that places that are great to visit, tourist-wise in any regard, are terrible to live unless you're part of that life. And so my town, there's literally no reason to come here. Like, we have a couple of things, but nothing that's so specific that you'd miss out because you hadn't been here. You know, there's like, I don't know, festivals and stuff, but they're festivals that are, you can get anywhere. I think. I don't think we're that unique. Kurds might pop in here and be like, no, dude, there's this, 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 and this. But he's a lot more community than I am. But, like, unless you're heavy involved, those big city goodnesses like that, it's not worth. You're paying for it and you don't. Nearest large grocery store is 30 to 40 minutes away? Oh, and your nearest good one's an hour. Wow. So, same ex-girlfriend, she also lived and did kids camp counseling in cottage country. Northern Ontario cottage country is pretty sprawling. It's big. But yeah, like she was showing me, she's like, okay, so this is the closest grocery store. And it was like a 25-minute drive. And it was like practically a really, really big convenience store. Like we're talking like $7 for a jar of PB, right? I'm like, and she's like, yeah, there's a Walmart just up the way. But if you're not a Walmart person, if Walmart isn't your bag, like, you know, brand-wise or whatever, that's your next closest. So, you know, quality is whatever it is, if that's not for you. So it was like, I think it was like an hour and a half, something like that, to get to like a Loblaws, something that has more than one variety attached kind of thing to it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's both awesome and sucks. Like, it's crazy. Like, especially right now during pandemic, that would be hard. But when life is good, LG, oh, do it. We visited one of her buddies, and he was like bewildered to have guests, but his place was literally on the edge of the forest. I wish I had pictures of it. This was like 2001, but it's like this, but without the water. And I'm just looking down, and it's grass that has never been mown, and it's just sprawling outward, but it didn't grow too high. It didn't need to. There's animals that graze off it and everything. And I'm just looking down, and you can't see or hear anything of a city. And the guy had just come in from chopping wood, and I'm like, you don't even live in my decade. This is incredible. This is incredible. But I don't know if I could do it, right? Like, I could, but I'm fairly connected. I like having the amenities that I have. So it's, ooh, all across. It's I'm unsure. Your nearest health food store is over an hour away. In the next state over. Whoa, grocery store once a month. So you've got good storage then. It was awesome. Just like insane. Okay, I really don't know if I'm gonna. I just fill that back in with stone. Jeez. 2 fridges, deep freeze, and a pantry. That is a-okay. My folks have the fridge, like the 2-door style fridge, right? 2-door style fridge. Then they have one that's the 2-door style that was solidly freezer. And then they had the one that was fridge in the freezer. And that was their setup. So upstairs, in their place, pardon me, upstairs in their place was only the fridge. Downstairs was the fridge, freezer, freezer. They don't have that now. That was actually their back in the day. Now I think they only have the 2 appliances. But yeah, like the proper full-size upright, filled with. Partly what it is though, for mobility issues as well. My folks needed to not be reaching into a deep freeze. Like they didn't, like, it's like your deep freeze is like a flat chest, right? Like a flat fridge. The door opens up like the old school style. Because my mom is 5'4". Yeah, my mom is 5'4", and she doesn't have like mobility issues, but she didn't want to flop right under me. Yeah, they are cheaper for sure. We had one of, like, I grew up with one of those. My buddy of mine kept bags of chips in there. So whenever he would say, do you want chips at his place, they'd be like ice cold right out of the bag. It was awesome. So I grew up with that style of deep freeze, but like they're 2/3 of my mom's height. She can't get to the bottom of that. And my dad has the pear-shaped body, and he's had it his whole life. So now that they're older, they're just not looking for that. So yeah, ice cold chips, awesome. But they needed to have something with the top down. My mom, I think, even keeps like those little kick stools. Oh, jeez, all over the house. Easier to reach up than it is to reach into. Yeah. Well, all right. We need to bring a boatload of fencing down here, I guess. And muck out whereabouts we're going to have our animals. I think we got a little bit of fencing in here. There we go. Oh, this is beautiful. Listen to that. If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend? Oh, yeah. Need to buy a bigger deep freeze because they keep overflowing. This one, that's amazing. Oh, if you do freezer meal prep, we would honestly do the same. My wife has tripled or quadrupled a few recipes that we have. Oh, you have a teenager in your house, so tons of pizza and junk. Yes. We have, I think it's called white chicken chili, but every time that we make it, it comes out more like a soup. But it's got shredded chicken, white beans, a whole bunch of other good stuff with broth and stuff like that, but we freeze it in bags, and you know, so that they're just flat, and then you stand them up. And we'll have like 6 of those. So when we end up getting sick, you can just break out a soup, right? But we used to make homemade like lasagnas and meat pies. Oh yeah, I mean, you eat completely different. I can completely believe that. You know, we didn't actually make anything. No, that's insane. Yes. Do that with veggie soup and chicken noodle soup. Yeah. When I worked at a orthopedic shoe company as their tech guy, my boss had I think his son was 17, but had just gotten into soccer and of Spanish descent. So like we're talking, when this kid picked up soccer, he switched his entire life into it, and he just like he went nuts. But then his dad was like, "Dude, you need to eat. You need to eat a lot if you're gonna be like," because all of a sudden the kid went from like playing video games and having fun to like, wow, this is great. He could meet girls this way and stuff like that. So like all of a sudden it's like, no, you need to put like 4,000 to 5,000 calories in you if you're gonna be training 10 hours a day. So he just became this like absolute champion of the sport and was eating just everything in the house, just nuts, everything in the house. Also, the outside fridge is stocked with like 2 liters of Sprite. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, nice. Use up some of my spruce planks. Can I make lots of fences off this? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Okay, and I think just 2 fence gates will do for now. That's amazing. A dozen 2 liters of Sprite. If that's your tonic of choice, that makes absolute sense. That's beautiful. Oh, okay, okay. These guys want to be moved over eventually. Sprite and saltines. Whiskey and Triscuits for my wife. I'm sure she doesn't mind me saying that. But yeah, we go through an absolute boatload of Triscuits. Ah, no drink for you. I'm personally not a drinker. But it just isn't something that works on me in the same regard. Guess I gotta burn all that away anyway. But I absolutely respect if you can, because it's an easy way to have your off. Don't know the meaning of just one or even just 10. Yeah, my I've got some family that has the penchant for many. And if you can handle it, like I dare say that a lot of people have issues with my brother's drinking, but he's clearly been doing it a long enough time that I don't hassle him for it. Just shy of. Okay, we'll put a single fence in here, but we gotta come back here with a bit more. Yeah. A little bit of a pen. Get these guys in there. Yeah, I either don't drink or I drink until you can't feel your legs. There is no in between. For me, what I learned early is that alcohol makes me tired. It starts to very quickly make me tired. And the more, the faster. So spirits, especially straight spirits, so doing shooters of any kind, not really my bag. But it's not instant. It's not, I'm immediately tired. It takes about a half hour. So if I keep drinking, I can stay awake. So I very quickly learned that that's not a nice way. You only drank hard liquor. So I switched to beer because I found that I could nurse it. And if I'm sitting at a bar talking with people, just even the way that we're doing now, just like, you know, spitting stories back and forth, I could nurse beers, and I could have one every hour, and I do not too bad. But then I discovered tasty, crappy beers. And I could drink an okay number of those. But when I stopped, the getting tired part was actually, like, we're talking, I already don't dream when I sleep. I already just hit the pillow and I go out and I wake up and I don't know, hours have passed or whatever. But when I did that from drinking, it was a deep, dark pit that I would wake up from. And I just couldn't handle it. Whereas I see my brother, and he has 3 or 4, and he's literally dancing around the room. I'm like, I cannot do that. I cannot, not in the same regard. Not. Because the moment I stop for a sec, I'm like, oh, and that's the end of it. That's my night, right? So I've met a couple of people where they're in the same boat. It's just the fact that alcohol is technically a depressant, technically a downer. That's where they like to classify it. I believe it on myself. I don't believe it on others. But on me, it's literally just you're done now. And I know some people are like that for pot. I know that is exact the experience for, so it makes sense to me that I've just got it for liquor. So like Guinness is 4.1%. I can pound back 6 or 7 of those and I do okay. Lemon wedges and good old tequila shot and you're good. There you go, Drifted. There you go. So like if I hadn't discovered that I enjoy crappy beers, I'd probably have just stayed away from alcohol forever. But I have about 4 drinks a year. That's about it. In my 20s, I did my best to try to experiment with as much as I could, and having stuff like lemon wedges, tequila, stuff like that. I would do like peach schnapps with apple juice, just, you know, weird things. But eventually it was just like, this is taxing on me. I really do wish I could enjoy it. Socially, it seems cool. Socially, like, you know, you can have your favorite drinks and share the recipes or whatever, but tequila shots make you lose your shirt. Do tell. That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. These stuff's Fireball and apple juice. Oh, Drifted. Go with Fireball and cranberry juice. It tastes like a glass of cinnamon hearts. It's awesome. It's called a first degree burn. It's actually on the bottle. It's a first degree burn. It's the recipe that they had, and it's amazing. But also tequila hot shots making you, oh wow, that is just, there's it's not rum. It's not tequila. Shoot, I can't remember. One of them makes me sing. Like real loud sing. Yeah. Oh, there. Why can't I make fins? Fins! And like, part of me as well likes the flavor of some bevies, but then of course the alcohol part of it is a little wiggy on me. So I really wish sometimes I could just taste some of the alcohol beverages that would be non-alcoholic. You do love a little captain in you. Yarr. Yeah, Dr. McGillicuddy and I had many a session, and I can't do it anymore. I actually don't have anything to feed these guys out here right now. I don't even think I made a hoe. I guess we'll be reshaping the those stairs down in a bit. 8 years sober until last year. Now you're 1 year, 2 months, and 26 days and going strong. DT. That's amazing. That is amazing. Always with those accolades. Bring them in. That's awesome, Duct Tape. That's awesome. That's awesome. I had a couple of uncles that continued to have their drink and just try to maybe curb their stuff. But I found out another one of my uncles, he's no longer with us, but he quit when he was like in his late teens because he couldn't go into a place without bringing a fight with him. And it did not matter. And he was just like, I have a family. I need to make sure I don't bring the fight. So he just walked away from it. He just had to. And I didn't know. I hung out with the guy and I was just blah, blah, blah. And then Mom was like, oh yeah, no, he hasn't had it in 23 years or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, she told a couple of stories. And so, whereas I'm like, those sound like current stories from current family. She's like, indeed. Oh, that's okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. I had no idea. So like at one point, my entire family was a bunch of ragers that they would literally just cause all the problems. Oh, I still want to bring those little planks out. And then I find out that a couple of them decided that that wasn't necessarily the way to keep going. Holy crap. I guess you just kind of get tired of running fast. You want to be slow? There we go. Bring these guys out with us. I guess we pack these guys away. These are for making detector rails, for freak's sakes. When you know it's time to settle down. He had a couple of lives and he chose family. He was also a brilliant country singer. Like we're talking, you give the guy a guitar and he'd regale you. I don't even really like country, but he could regale. And he probably could have had a career in it, but he legit chose family. Respect. Now, granted, the other family members, they also chose family, but they chose the wildlife to go with it. Should I make a hoe and make a little bit of farmland? I guess we should make a little farmland. Your dad was like that? Yeah. Both of my parents came from semi-abusive families, so they wanted to make sure that they didn't have that sort of stuff growing up. But depending upon how old you were when that was happening, your viewpoint versus your siblings' viewpoint is different. So some of them, they didn't repeat the process of the physical abuse, but the chemical abuse was something that was a bit of a harder thing. So, that's a challenge and a half. And so many would believe that, say, for example, my brother being older, heard the stories and chemically it went one way, and I heard the stories and it went a different. So my body just rejects it, just doesn't even like it. Yeah, I guess we'll make one. I'm trying to remember, there's things you have to have before you can just have farmland. Yeah, mine was going to a casino, to a bar that had ladies' night and would drink so much and your friends would have to carry you out. I can believe, yeah. And one time was walking in, saw security guards looking and shaking their heads when they saw you. Oh, when you start to get your known on. Yeah. Because when they see hundreds of thousands of people eat week, but they remember yo ass. Oh, indeed. No, duct tape. Hey, good on you to recognize. I actually knew a girl way back in the day, that you'd see her having that kind of a night, and she seemed to own it. And then I remember hanging out with her one day, and she said, truthfully, I don't remember most of those nights. And I just kind of went, what are you talking about? It's like one night she straight up took the pitcher of beer that I had, that I was pouring for other people, grabbed it, and put the spigot in her mouth and just walked away. And took my beer pitcher with her. And I'm just like, what do you mean? You don't remember these things? She goes, no. Sometimes I just go to the bar. Other nights I go to the bar and I remember stuff. Oh, wow. So, like, I'm with you that, and, you know, it takes recognition, because I actually kind of think I remember seeing her continue to do that for many years. So, choices, though. Yeah. A lot of nights where we don't remember, and that's terrifying. As tired as liquor makes me, I end up remembering it all. I think it's because my body puts in like a survival instinct, knowing I'm tired. It doesn't really let me kind of get to that point. But I think it's also just the reaction. My body has it, and it caps it faster than for most. I probably cannot put as much alcohol in me as other people are just naturally able. So, one of my friends has no recollection of most of his college because they did nothing but drink. Got better grades than I did in the charter programs. So I stopped talking to them for a bit. Sage indeed. Holy givener. There was a jarring switch. Yeah, some people perform. What is that? What's the term for it when you're an alcoholic, but like functioning alcoholic? When you're actually, one of my first jobs, I was a. You're lucky because I can basically drink from a fire hose. Cheapos. Way back, 1995. I know that's not way back for everybody, but still. I was working as a dishwasher, and I was working with this guy that smoked weed so much that to not have it in his body was almost rage-inducing. Like, he was a 24/7, woke up to it kind of a guy. But I got to hang out with him when he was trying not to have it. I don't know, he was trying to, like, I don't know, change. And after like 3 days, he was just like, nah, man, I can't do it. But he actually performed, he smiled, and he had life better under said influence. So how do you fault? But I mean, if that's what you're capable of, you can do it. But if it's causing the problems, then it's nice to be able to look at yourself and be like, hey, well, I think we heard this track. I like this track. This might just be a single playlist on repeat. I'm not sure. 5 occurrences of alcohol poisoning, and they shaped up. Better path. Oh, that's amazing. You were 9 in 95? Okay. I'm bad at math. I did high school from 91 to 96. And that was a hilarious time to be in high school. Thank you. Keep hearing that weed is not addictive, but that is bunk. I know a guy who would sell his kids stuff and spend the night to get his buzz on. So, Drifted, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I knew a couple of people that if they have it, they're smoking it. It doesn't matter if it's a half gram or a half pound. They are literally not going to stop until it's gone. That's what stops them. And that's it. And they know it, and that's it. That's the only thing that stops them. So I'm with you that you can be addicted to absolutely anything. You can be habitually addicted to absolutely anything. Like yoga. You can honestly be addicted to. But the fact that it's an instant gratification chemical, that brings it right up, like way up. You know a few people who can't even go a day without weed. So, and like, most humans will get established on a routine anyway. Look at that, that's beautiful. You can get established on a routine, and then that routine becomes just like your life. But, so, like playing a video game. Playing a game like World of Warcraft every single day, you eventually get that accustomed, and you have to have it. Drifted bro goes to an ounce and a half in no time. So I hung out with a couple of people that... So, I'll say it out loud. I smoke. But I hung out with a couple of people that literally... They're rolling like 7 or 8 joints. And I'm like, there's 4 of us. What are you doing? I'm like, I know, it's hardcore. And I'm just like, but I mean, like... That's like 3 weeks worth of rolling, right? What are you even doing? And you know, it's like, no. Right? I think if I could not have a computer time every day, I would not have an issue. No. But like, that's over every top. You do not need to have that level. And like, I worked with a guy that was talking about how he needs to cut back on his weed intake. And I'm like, well, like, what's your strategy? And he goes, well, for example, I'm down to 1 bucket a day. And I'm like, I don't even know what a bucket is, buddy. What are you doing a bucket of weed and saying that that's your cutting down? Like, come on, man. Been working on the same 12G of hash since October. Still like 5 left. Hash takes forever to get rid of. But like, you know, that's amazing. It all depends on what you've got for it, though, too, because if you don't have the best means to get rid of it, it can take a bit of time. But like, I don't know. Just some people, they just kind of, I think that it's the ritual, the habitual. Oh, no smoke, because, oh, so it's officially gateway then for you. Understood. No, I get it. I knew, I've known a couple of people that they can't have it even around because they had their fill. So like for me, sometimes even the smell of alcohol, I will point out, I've never been able to drink wine. I cannot drink wine. Oh yeah, F's is a bucket. Drifted. So I had to look it up. Hold on, let me give a bit of a pause and let's go to a just chat for a minute there. Yeah, you don't mind if other people just not directly near you? Yeah. So, what you have is a reservoir for water, a bucket, some sort of a thing. But you need to have a bottle that'll fit inside it. So a 2 liter inside of like a giant 4 liter bucket, right? And you submerge the 2 liter so that the lid is still at the top, just the lid just at the top. And you put your weed in the top and you light it, and then you lift the bucket, or you lift the bottle until the whole thing fills up with smoke. And now you've got 2 liters of smoke, and you don't let it come out the top, so it's trapped, right? And then you unscrew the top, and then this is what he tells me he does. He puts his mouth on it while his buddy pushes his head down, and then you cut down to this? You cut down to this? This is not cutting. So, I do believe there's another technique called the waterfall, where you have the same 2 liter, but you have a plug in the bottom, and you fill the 2 liter bottle up with water, and you put your weed at the top, and an elaborate shotgun, but got it. But like, we're talking like, he was 17 or something? And I'm like, what do you mean you need to cut? I had my first toke when I was, I think, 21 or something, and I'm just looking at this guy going, what do you mean, right? Like, how do you facepalm more than once? It was definitely, and I just felt bad for the poor kid, because I'm like, you are clearly the product of someone. Like, somebody helped you get here, you know? Even if it was just the internet. I felt so bad for the poor guy. He did eventually. I saw him years later. Super cleaned up. He definitely did his, you want to call it, did his time. He definitely did his stuff, and he was good. But like, just crazy. Just crazy. I laugh at people who do those 0G intakes, right? I smoke before bed to sleep. By the time it kicks in, your head's on a pillow. Couldn't smoke much more than that. I hate not having a clean head. So yeah, a buddy of mine, he can't really smoke it because it's essentially just, like a sleep aid, but he doesn't need it. So he's not really looking for a sleep aid. So, you know, he's just like, yeah, that's not for me. But he's one of the few people I know that can just, he can drink anytime. And it's good on him. It works. So far as I've ever seen. Whistles nonchalantly. 11 years. Oh, whoa. Wow. 4. I can't type. Yeah. So I think as long as you have what works for you, whatever can help. I had a boss even do the same sort of thing though. Yeah, I would not recommend. Indeed. I had a boss actually recommend it to me. He was just like, dude, like you probably need something to help you sleep. So whatever gets you kind of to help out. Here? Okay. I don't think I need anything else from there. I'll head back in. Bro and uncle used to do stuff like that. They would punch each other in the chest until they had a lung full. Oh, right? Yeah. Over the top. How many do we need? I also think for a small bit, there's machismo attached for some people. I don't have any of that. I'm good. I keep thinking I have enough. Like I can fail at video games for friends over the internet. I don't think I have to worry about shame. But I think for some people, it's a show off as well. That's why I felt bad. Like what I'm saying, that like I feel like that guy that I worked with, minor coercion. It's a big deal for somebody in his world to be able to smoke that much. I'm probably going to make more of these anyway, so we'll make a bunch. Mine was all about escaping the reality I lived with. No, I can believe that. No. Yeah, I think. So yeah, back to the side of it. The addiction side of it, for sure. I can picture that for some people, that level of escape is so needed. I actually worked with a guy who did cocaine twice a year. His birthday was in July. So he did cocaine on his birthday and at Christmas. Because it's the 2 times a year he requires spending time with family, and he hates his family so much that he requires that absolute stepping out of reality. And I swear his family just think that's what he likes. He doesn't see them any other time, and he doesn't need it any other time, but it's what gets him through his family. What? The story I told where I saw someone cross the street and drop their bag of weed. It was also busy Friday night in Toronto. And some dude did like a, yeah, and ran across the street and dropped this bag of weed. It was a huge amount. Just hilarious. Seal packs of smokes on the road, but never found a bag of drugs just lying. That's amazing. And you don't smoke, so finding a full unopened pack, that's just going to be trade in the event you end up in prison. Like, that doesn't help you in the slightest. You don't see your family anymore, so that helps a lot. Yeah. My family's pretty cool. We have very different interests, though. Like, we're all extremely separate, and even in different parts of the country. So we don't really see each other all that much, but how bad is your family that Coke is a better option? It was really funny, because, like, we were talking about it, my boss was able to go, I'm gonna put a path down here. Do I have any gravel? My boss was able to go, he went to Algonquin, which is a huge forest that has literally no society. You can actually get lost and die in there. But he went there with 1 pack of smokes, and he smoked them all in 3 days and then didn't need them again for the rest of the 3 weeks. And he was fine. And he discovered that he's not addicted to cigarettes. He's literally not. He just likes them. And it's nuts. And we were talking about that. And he goes, oh yeah, once in a while I forget to buy them. And we're all sitting there like, I don't know anybody that can do that. And then he was like, you know, here's a funny story. And he confided in me that, like, yeah, duct tape. I'd be willing to bet that you've got some stories to share. But, like, when that's the case, what do you do, right? Like, unbelievable. And I found him to be pretty chill. Like, he was a nice guy. He was decent. He seemed like a hard-working bloke. He came to work. He got his job done. And I'm just like, man, I cannot hold that against you. Not Twitch stories. Walrus does the same to me. He's like, I have plenty of stories. I'll talk to you in Discord. Where are we at? 12:23. We got some farming. We might have to buzz this out. We've got some farming. We killed a bandit dude. This is eventually going to be a fish farm. I want to put like a set of stairs maybe on into here. There's like a bit of a stair into here. Guys, this is alright. We did a good job today. Discord indeed for stories. Look at that. I don't know that I love it, but we'll keep it for now. We'll keep it for now. You're the black sheep of your family. I'm the youngest of 4, and after my brother and sisters already did all sorts of different things, and like top level stuff, like I don't even want to get into stories, just nuts. My parents were like, oh good, I think we got them all out. The youngest will be fine. And like, I attended 15 gay prides over the course of 8 years. I've dyed my hair every friggin' color under the sun. I've got a whole wackadoo of piercings, like all the things. Like, I picked from the other half of the phone book that my other siblings didn't manage to get all the way through to. Like, screw that, I started at M and went down. So, I kind of made myself the black sheep of the family. Me and my youngest sister. She's a year older than me, and we're both kind of the social recluses of the family. We're both the ones that, like, could take or leave. We're the ones that we're fine with quarantine. We're good. We're all right. So that's hilarious. Yeah. I'm the quiet contender that my folks didn't necessarily think was gonna be able to do this stuff. And like when I moved to Toronto, I literally was like, yeah, I'm moving to Toronto next month. Bye. Like, what the hell do you mean? So yeah, lots of fun. Lots of fun. Guys, this was a lit night. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me blast you with some epic 24/7 hip-hop. This was a fun playlist to listen to. I'm going to pop that back up if anybody needs it. Where are my chats? That's my chats? There's our playlist. You're the only one in your family with crazy colored hair, haircuts, piercings, ink. Look nothing like any of them. Yeah, I have more piercings than my entire local family combined. All of them. It's insane. It's awesome. But I don't think I have more tattoos. My sister has like a compass rose on her foot, right on the top. Apparently that hurt like a bitch. She has 2 kids, so does that hurt like a bitch? You know, stuff like that. That's kind of awesome. She might actually have 2. I can't remember. She might have something else on the other side. Oh, guys, this was a lot of fun. I think we're going to do some BioShock tomorrow. Stay tuned if you want to come down to the creepy, wonderful world that is Rapture. We're gonna... Here's my playlist. Get that a little tiny bit quieter. Little tiny bit quieter. There we go. There we go. 7 large tattoos. I got little ones. I got little guys. Yeah. More in just your ears. You've told me that you've got the, like the ring that goes all the way around. That is so lit. That is so cool. That is really sweet. So yeah, this time tomorrow. Oh, I think that just stopped. There we go. This time tomorrow, Well, not this time because we'll be ending at this time. We're gonna be doing some BioShock Remastered because I want to get back into Rapture. I wanna have a whole stuff. Were you out with your kid and your king Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't know the days anymore. I might have been. We've been going out a little bit. We've been going out and checking stuff out, seeing what it's like. You have tats. Oh, and Wildcat in the chat, just in time for our raid. Look at you. Yeah, I have a couple of tats. I think I showed my pixie on stream one day. Oh, just, sorry, I have tats. I just wasn't sure. That's really good. I thought I saw you, but I see people all the time. No dead people, but one. Yeah, but one day. Numlock may be tired. Oh yeah, I hate Numlock. That should just be on all the time. God damn it. God damn it. Stream ending indeed. So yeah, guys. Oh, you are awesome. Thanks for the chats. I honestly wasn't sure if this was gonna be a full stream. I was kind of thinking, yeah, I'll stream for like an hour or longer. And here we are, 12:27. This is lit. Oh, and look at all those Discord icons. Oh, Discord has been jumping lately. You guys are awesome. I will hopefully be able to stream for longer one day, guys. I will hopefully be able to stream for longer. We're gonna work on it. I would love to be able to put. I think the longest I've ever put out on Twitch was 3 hours 54 minutes. Wasn't a whole lot. I'm just checking to see. Wolfie AFK is currently live doing his arc, but he is an engaging streamer, guys. I want to introduce you to him because he's awesome. I don't know if you've hung out with Wolfie before, but this guy is a nice chat engaged streamer, and I want to see if he's available for chat. Just want to play with your glorious beard. More of that thing. It's all full of like white hairs too. It's all full of white hairs. Oh, my stream lagged out, dude. No. All right. Well, if I'm lagging out, jeez. All right. Let's go say hi to Wolfie. Let's stop playing with my beard, and we'll go. I think actually Wolfie's got an all right size beard. Oh yeah. Thanks very much for the lit stream again, guys. Peace, and we'll talk again soon. Enjoy.